Tonight, after being vacant for years, there's new interest in an old school building on the Iron Range, what it could become.
And Minnesota's top lawyer files a massive lawsuit against Big Oil, claiming multiple companies lied to Minnesotans.
And later, business is booming, literally. Why fireworks sales in our area are up 200%.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. COVID-19 has highlighted a long list of inequities faced by Native American communities across the country.
Tonight, U.S. Senator Tina Smith met with a panel of Indigenous leaders around the state to learn more about the impacts tribal nations are facing. CBS3's Jesse Slater explains what tribal leaders in our area are asking of the Minnesota senator.
Tribal nation leaders across Minnesota tuned into a virtual panel Wednesday night, concerned about the lack of funding allocated to their tribes during an economic crisis.
We've never got 100% funding that's been guaranteed to us.
Among those leaders was Fond du Lac Tribal Chairman Kevin Dupuis, who said there was a lack of transparency when receiving funds from the U.S. CARES Act.
We didn't know how much money was going to come. We didn't know how it was going to be broken down. Most importantly, when it was, we wanted to know when the money was going to come. U.S.
Senator Tina Smith, a member of the Indian Affairs Committee, said she fought for $20 billion in federal aid for tribes across the state. Instead, they received less than half of that. Smith said those dollars don't come close to addressing the need that tribal governments have to replace lost revenue.
That $8 billion was specifically constrained to be only for basically reimbursed for COVID-related expenses.
Chair Dupuis said he hopes for a reduction in red tape when applying for the next round of funding.
Let us spend the money the way we know how to spend the money. We can prove that we can show you by data that we spend the money the right way.
Dupuis said he is thankful for the funds Fond du Lac has been able to receive so far. Senator Smith said she will keep advocating for aid within tribal communities in Washington.
Park Point residents learned more about the possibility of shoring up their erosion problem. The Army Corps of Engineers hosted a virtual meeting tonight. According to the Corps, they're planning to dredge the shipping channel. They'll put 50,000 cubic yards of dredge material on the beach from the channel south of the S-bend at 12th Street. The project is expected to run from August 1st through September 30th. The beach is expected to be closed during that time. The Army Corps is just waiting on final approval from the MPCA. And Dave joins us for a quick look at the weather. Dave, a few showers out there, but that gave way to sunshine for a lot of us today.
Yeah, it did, Tony, it did. And the showers and the shatters that you talk about, on this image I have here, it looks like up towards Thunder Bay, they got nailed with something. And frankly, delving into Canadian archives is a bit difficult for me on this side of the border. So I don't know if that's real big explosive rains in Ontario, or that was just a blip with their Doppler sight up in that neck of the woods. Bottom line is, in our neck of the woods, we had a few traces of rain from Moose Lake to Hayward. That was about it. Now, with higher pressure coming in for tomorrow, we'll have sunshine on Thursday, but a rain chance will pop back to us for Friday. A quick look at our day planner here for Thursday says it'll be mostly sunny most of the day and getting warmer, high temp 80. We'll talk about how long that will last in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Two longtime Iron Range newspapers are merging into one 6-day newspaper starting July 8th. The Mesabi Daily News and Hibbing Daily Tribune, owned by Adams Publishing Group, will become the Mesabi Tribune. The announcement comes as the newspaper industry continues to face revenue declines. July 8th is the same day the Duluth News Tribune will go from a 7-day-a-week paper to 2 days per week.
There could be light at the end of the tunnel for the city of Buell. An old school building that's been sitting empty on the edge of town for 4 years has caught some new attention from potential buyers. CBS3's Leanne Valdez shares why the building is still vacant and what city officials hope takes its place.
Trying to find a perfect client is tough.
Buell city officials have been trying to sell this school building for the past couple of years.
There's been a steady amount of interest.
But City Administrator Ryan Pervenancy says its size is causing potential buyers to look elsewhere.
It's 180,000 square feet.
The building, once served as a high school and juvenile correctional facility, has 35 classrooms, 6 residential wings, a pool, and a couple of gyms. The listing price is $149,000. The annual cost to maintain it sits at $120,000. Pervenancy says the past several years, the city has only had to pay a couple $1,000s for general maintenance since it's not active. And while they're not having a huge financial issue with it now, it could add up later.
We're a small town of 1,000 people. We don't have unlimited budget and funds.
So the city wants someone to take it off their hands, which could be soon. Over the past 3 months, 5 new parties have expressed interest, turning it into a boarding school, a resort, or even an animal training center. Pervenancy says they're hoping to find the perfect fit.
Their number one priority is the citizens of Buell and making sure they have, the resources, the services that they deserve.
Buell's mayor says he'd like to see a mental health service proposal.
And we just don't have anything on the central range right here and to the eastern part of the range to house some of the students. It wouldn't only be for students from this area, Millie, but it's a need throughout the state.
The Mesabi Range Juvenile Correction Facility that used to operate out of the building was Buell's largest employer at the time. It closed down in June of 2016 amid controversy over its operations.
Many high school graduates' college plans are uncertain due to COVID-19, and now one local university is working to give incoming freshmen some direction. The University of Wisconsin-Superior created a program called Plan U. The program is a collection of general education classes first-year students can take online. The hope is students can continue their education even if there are struggles they're facing due to COVID-19.
We're doing everything we can to ensure that students can continue as uninterrupted as possible with their educational goals. I mean, there's so many distractions that can detract from your educational experience, and I think COVID has been that way.
Plan U is only offered to first-year students for the fall semester at the campus. After the semester, students have the choice of transferring to another school, transferring to on-campus classes at UWS, or continuing an online degree with the university.
Duluth Mayor Emily Larson is calling on Minnesota's governor to distribute millions of dollars in CARES Act funding to cities across the state, with or without the legislature's approval. Duluth is expecting $6.5 million in state and federal dollars. It would not count toward the city's $25 million revenue shortfall, but it would help with money spent directly related to the pandemic. Larson sent a letter to Governor Tim Walz today asking him to use his executive authority to allocate that money now. Normally, it would have to go get approval from the state legislature, but they did not come to an agreement before the recent special session ended. Meanwhile, in Superior, city leaders say they've been able to keep pandemic-related budget impacts to about $100,000 so far. However, Mayor Jim Payne's chief of staff says that number is expected to rise. City officials believe most of the expenses so far will qualify for reimbursement through state relief. The city has not had to lay off any staff.
Pulling a page from the history books, Minnesota's Attorney General is suing big oil companies for lying to Minnesota consumers about climate change. The complaint is based in large part on the state's successful lawsuit against Big Tobacco in the 1990s. That case won Minnesota a then record $6.5 billion. Attorney General Keith Ellison made the announcement surrounded by farmers, community activists, and legal experts. Esme Murphy reports on this push to get big oil to pay big bucks.
In the state lawsuit, Minnesota's Attorney General says ExxonMobil, Koch Industries, and the American Petroleum Institute have lied to Minnesota consumers for decades.
They knew CO2 was going to go up because of burning fossil fuels. They knew it would cause climate change, and they knew that there would be negative catastrophic effects to the world and to Minnesota.
The lawsuit argues the deception has hurt all Minnesotans, including farmers like Martin Larson.
That's where my livelihood comes from, the weather and the climate. And in that last 10 years, I've seen these scars appear on my farm from the increased rainfall, the short duration, high intense rain.
Communities of color, the suit argues, have been disproportionately hurt, and like George Floyd, are struggling to breathe.
That statement of "I can't breathe" is matched by a pattern of air inequality, where we can't breathe as well. We have 11 toxic companies in North Minneapolis that are putting stuff in the air, soil, and water.
A staffer who worked on the 90s tobacco lawsuit said the parallels are eerie. There are even ads by Big Oil denying negative impacts of climate change, and secret documents like this October 1979 Exxon file that warns the present trend of fossil fuel consumption will cause dramatic environmental effects before the year 2050.
A spokesperson for the American Petroleum Institute said in part, quote, the industry has achieved its goal of providing affordable, reliable American energy to U.S. consumers while substantially reducing emissions and our environmental footprint. Any suggestion to the contrary is false. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, if you think you're hearing a lot more fireworks going off than normal, well, you're not alone. What's behind the increase coming up?
Record high temp today, 91 degrees from 1890. Next week, some towns could be flirting with 90 again, like we have been on and off so far this early summer here. We'll talk about this warm spell coming our way in just a few more minutes.
Hello, Northland. It's good to see you.
During this time, staying healthy might look a little bit different.
But we're still here to care for you.
St. Luke's now offers new ways for you to see us.
Like telehealth video visits, which is how I'm talking to you right now.
If you do need to be seen in person, you can rest assured
we are keeping our clinics and hospitals clean and safe.
If you have any questions
or want to make an appointment,
give us a call.
We'll be happy to help.
You're ready to drive again, and not just to the neighborhood store. In a new Honda, you can enjoy the open road with powerful performance. And your money can go farther too, because Honda holds its value better than any other auto brand. Your Honda dealer is offering flexibility, like shopping online, so you can purchase with confidence. Get your new Honda today. KBB.com's 2020 Best Value Brand.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV.
Well, I get tons of HD.
Spectrum has tons of HD. And we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
I don't have that. Plus, sometimes in the rain, our services go out.
Because of the dish on your roof?
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-916-4499.
And Spectrum Internet starts at 100 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-916-4499.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites and always a smile.
CBS 3 Weather is brought to you by Lulich Implement.
Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
One of the neat things about our region is you don't have to venture too far to find adventure. In Bayfield, you just go outside of town a couple of feet, and there you get the big ravine trail system there. Our dear friend Paige Rodio, she took this gorgeous picture of what the sky looked like framed in between the trees here. Everything's nice and green. The sky is blue. Beautiful picture. Only thing lacking, some decent rain. We all need it, and there's a slight chance we'll get it come Friday. I'll talk about the odds of that paying off in just a bit, but of course we'll start the situation here with current conditions at the airport in Duluth. It's 61 degrees right now with a 60% reading for the relative humidity. The northwesterly wind has slowed down now to 3 miles per hour. Probably will stay that direction through tomorrow. and then only go 5 to 10 miles per hour rather than gusting up towards 15 or so. Taking a look now at our regional temperatures, 49 to 54 in the Upper Peninsula. We're eyeing up 53 to 59 here in northwestern Wisconsin, including 59 in Solon Springs and Superior as well. Mid-50s around east central Minnesota, including Moose Lake and Barnum. Wrenshall, Cloquet, probably not too far off of that mark. 55 to 63 for much of the North Shore, though right by the lake in Grand Marais, of course, it is cooler. Upper 40s there, low 50s for the Mesabi Range, upper 50s on the Vermilion, and 53 to 57 up towards Borderland. Low temps tonight likely will be in the 40s and 50s for our area. Pretty close to normal for this time of year, like the past couple of days have been for temperatures. Tomorrow, though, a warm spell begins, and that may lead to some 90s for some towns by next week, especially away from Lake Superior. Okay, trough of low pressure, upper level little disturbance here has been filtering its way through the area past couple of days, and it brought some showers last night to Minnesota, and earlier today it brought some showers and maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms into northwestern Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula, but now you can see that that has faded away, and we're going to dry up as high pressure takes over for our Thursday. But perhaps only for Thursday will we get the higher pressure bringing in a mostly sunny sky. I think we'll hold on to the warmer temperatures here for much of the week ahead, but the sunnier sky only Thursday, like I mentioned, because as early as Friday, low pressure system comes in from the west, and it'll create a 60 to 70% chance for showers and thunderstorms, and embedded in that come Friday, a slight chance for some severe weather that we may have to seek shelter for. So we'll keep you abreast of that, of course, as time goes on. How much rain will we get if it pays off on Friday? Maybe up to 1/3 of an inch in Minnesota and maybe a 1/2 inch in Wisconsin. Tonight, Minnesota-wise, your low temps, they will go from 45 to 53. Wisconsin and Michigan low temps, 47 to 52. For tomorrow, with a sunny sky in Wisconsin and the UP, you'll be around 80 degrees. And into Minnesota, cooler by the lake, of course, and around 80 farther inland. So the warm spell begins. And I think the warm spell will last all the way through next Wednesday, keeping in mind 73 is the normal. We could go as warm as 83 in the Twin Ports. And that means, of course, farther away from the lake, 90 is not out of the question. Friday gets that shower and storm chance, Tony and Kristen. It goes away for the weekend, but creeps back in come Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week.
As long as the dew points stay low, should be a nice weekend.
That's a good point, Tony. They may be a bit on the higher side, so it may be warm and a little bit sticky.
We don't like that.
No, we don't, do we?
No. Thanks, Dave.
Fireworks are already booming in Duluth this year. The police department has seen a surge in calls reporting large aerial fireworks being lit off in residential neighborhoods. CBS 3's John Cardinelli spoke with one person who's dealing with the fireworks and has the story.
For the last couple of weeks,
they sound like bombs, explosions.
Residents of the hillside neighborhoods have been seeing and hearing a lot of aerial fireworks.
Most nights they start around 8 and they'll go off till like 1, 2 in the morning.
The Duluth Police Department has noticed an increase in reported calls. Since the beginning of June, DPD has reported 89 fireworks-related calls compared to just 21 calls this time last year.
It's really been a nuisance for my neighbors. Their dogs are barking, scared of the fireworks. My cat's a little afraid of the fireworks.
While aerial fireworks are illegal in the state of Minnesota, fireworks stands like TNT sell legal ones, and they say sales are skyrocketing this year.
Looking at our comparisons from last year, where our sales are almost 200% more than what they were last year at this time.
The surge possibly helped by canceled city fireworks shows.
Ultimately, I think it comes down to being safe, and that along with that comes the responsibility of knowing what's legal.
Along with the respect for the law and your neighbors.
The big, loud, illegal ones are really, they affect the neighborhood. They scare animals. There's no place for them in the middle of the night.
The Duluth Police Department says if you want to report fireworks, call 911. They say it's best to call as the fireworks are happening, so it's easier to track where they're coming from. Those shooting off the fireworks can face a hefty fine.
With more people using city parks, Duluth plans to bring back some maintenance staff. Many of those workers were laid off to save money during the pandemic. But in the next few weeks, the city plans to bring back 6 full-time staff and 12 seasonal workers. Those people will help with trash pickup and mowing at certain city parks. It does not include lifeguards or park rangers on Park Point. All of the funding will come from the city's Parks Fund. which can only be spent on park activities. And starting next week, the Lake Superior Zoo is expected to enter the second phase of its reopening plan. That means guests will be able to check out indoor exhibits beginning July 2nd. Outdoor exhibits reopened earlier this month after the zoo was closed for several months.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, prices at the pump are starting to increase again. Why you're going to pay more for your next fill-up, coming up next.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
The nursing program at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is really challenging, but it has to be. It's approved by the Board of Nursing. And graduates here have been successfully passing the state board exam. They give you real-world experience with healthcare institutions across the community. I'm really glad I chose Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College.
What they call a snow day, we call a work day. And the resume I leave behind is nothing but clean pavement. That's why I stay prepared for all the depths of winter with a plow that won't back down from a little overtime and takes care of business beyond 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9 without skipping a beat. A plow you'd call a real MVP, the kind only Western builds to get more jobs done faster.
Get your snowplow from the experts at JM Auto Service. We are Western Snowplow headquarters.
We dance for healing. We dance for one another. For connection. In ways like no other. Together. Or even apart. We are resilient. The 2020 census is here, and we need to do our part for our people.
At Super One Foods, we go to great measures to deliver you with top quality meat every day. Try our Sheboygan fresh bratwurst or Italian sausage for only $5.95 for 2.5 pounds. And get Smithfield boneless pork chops for just $2.49 per pound. We provide the best of the best in fresh produce. Get red, green, or black seedless grapes for $1.66 per pound. And 2 6-ounce packages of Driscoll's raspberries for just $5. Through all that we do, we've got you in mind. Super One Foods, serving you lower prices and better choices.
If you think about the last few months, maybe it'll give us a new perspective. Maybe it'll help us see just how connected we all are. And maybe, if we look at the big picture, it'll remind us just how amazing freedom really is.
Shop and buy at Jeep.com, where you'll find 0% financing for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for 90 days on the 2020 Jeep Cherokee.
I chose a career that isn't easy, it's dangerous, and it's hard. Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College has set me up with everything I need to succeed. Through challenging classes, longer defensive tactics training, and instructors who work in the industry, Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is setting me up for success.
Southwest Outlet is open for business. Now save up to 40% off store-wide.
Duke is a man of few words and many songs.
Let freedom ring. Gone country. Ain't going down till the sun comes up.
It's 102.5.
Duke FM.
With businesses and stores back open, people are hitting the road more, and that's leading to higher prices at the pump.
When the coronavirus pandemic forced millions to stay home, demands for gas dropped, and so did prices at the pump. The national average fell to $1.74 a gallon in late April. In parts of the country, you could even find prices for under $1. But as the economy opened up, gas prices rose, jumping more than 35 cents a gallon in the past 2 months. Experts at Gas Buddies say the upward trend will continue. The good news, Americans are still paying less than they did this time last year, but experts admit it is difficult to predict exactly what will happen in the middle of a pandemic that could get better or worse.
Coming up in sports, a former UMD goalie is heading to the professional level. Kelly has the details coming up next.
Schneiderman's helps you celebrate life's happiest moments. When everyone has a spot. Even spot. It's BOGO time at Schneiderman's. Buy one item and get another half off during the 4th of July sale at Schneiderman's Furniture.
This is a fun game.
What are you doing?
Hey, it's your sister. Maybe she wants to help Daddy. Wow.
Should I get Mom?
Mama doesn't need to know. Mom doesn't need to know. Hey, Ron.
The new battery-powered 60-volt mower from Toro makes mowing simple, so you can enjoy more quality time with your family.
Lawn looks good now.
At Denny's Lawn and Garden.
The 2020 Subaru Forester. The SUV for all you love. Standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 33 miles per gallon. Standard eyesight driver assist technology. A spacious and comfortable interior. The best SUV for all you do.
Get 0% APR financing on all new 2020 Subaru Forester models now through June 30th. Visit us online at millerhill.com.
Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening. Our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of technology. And Mediacom will be ready to power it. All of it. With one of the nation's first supercharged 10G platforms. We'll be lighting up cities, big and small. Wherever you are, whatever your connectivity needs, we'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do more than you ever dreamed possible.
Here at Memorial Medical Center, we really care about treating the patient as a whole. Instead of looking at the patient as a hip or as a knee, we look at how their hip or the knee affects their life. I'm Joe Signorelli, orthopedic surgeon, and I've been doing joint replacement surgery for 7 years. It's really important for a patient to be comfortable where they're receiving their care. And so if we can provide high quality care at an affordable cost in their home community, I think that's advantageous for the patient. I think they really appreciate it.
Schneiderman's helps you celebrate life's peaceful moments. 8 hours at a time. Save up to $200 on our new Beauty Rest Harmony Luxe mattress sets, plus get a 365-night trial only at Schneiderman Sleep.
Four months following the cancellation of his high school hockey season, eliminating the possibility of a third straight national title, Hunter Shepard is turning pro. The UMD alum and NCHC Goaltender of the Year announced via his Twitter that he is heading to play for the AHL affiliate of the Washington Capitals, the Hershey Bears. Shepard attended several NHL camps in his time at UMD, including the Minnesota Wild 2 summers ago, before he now signs his first pro deal in the Caps organization. Shepard becomes the 5th Bulldog to sign a professional hockey deal this offseason. This week, we learned of several other Northwoods League baseball teams that would be able to return to play for the 2020 season. And then we waited for the Duluth Huskies plan that never came. As of today, the club has called it quits for the 2020 season, canceling the 2020 season. In a statement, the Huskies said that there were far too many and unanswerable questions in many critical areas, including health issues and safety of those at the ballpark. All season tickets, multiple game punch cards, and June-only game specials will be honored in the 2021 season. There were no details about refunds for tickets. Wade Stadium remains closed to baseball activity. It's only open to small groups of 25 or less. The Eau Claire Express and Madison Mallards also canceled their seasons today as well. The message all over social media today for the Minnesota Wild was, we're back. Wild players were permitted to hit the ice at Trier Rink this afternoon for Phase 2 of the NHL's return to play plan. All players and select staff that were permitted to enter the facility were tested for COVID-19. And out of the 4 guys on the rink here, half of them are former Bulldogs. Alex Stalock was back in goal, and Carson Soucy was back shooting pucks at him. Soucy was definitely visibly excited to be back and now making a playoff run, no less. It would have been pretty devastating for players and fans knowing the run that the Wild were on was over.
It would be a long off season knowing we didn't have a chance, or we couldn't come back and play just because we thought we were rolling pretty good, and we thought we had a chance to make the playoffs. So to have the whole season cut short would have been really tough.
Susie played a much bigger role this past season, taking shifts with the Wild, scoring 7 goals and 7 assists.
I mean, I definitely came in with a little more confidence, a little more intensity this year. But just the coaching staff gave me, they gave me faith right away. I think I missed the first game, but then, got in the second game, and they put their trust in me, and that always helps players' confidence too. And they just kept putting me in a bigger role and kept kind of giving me more ice time and stuff. And that always helps just to learn more situations and stuff. And they were great right off the bat. If I was playing good, they kind of held me in the lineup. And, like I said, that's just great for a player's confidence. And it was easy to stick with it once they gave me that confidence and once they gave me that playing time.
The NHL hopes to have camps formally return on July 10th with the season resumption not too long after that. The WIA approved a big change today. Starting in the 2021-22 season, the WIA will hold a girls' state wrestling tournament, the first time they have ever sanctioned the sport with its own state tournament. The recommendation passed with a 10-0 vote. They'll be releasing more details at a later date. And finally, Two Harbors needs your help. The Agates are in the semifinals for the best mascot in the Minnesota State High School League Twitter competition bracket. They are up against the Moorhead Spuds. They currently trail in votes at this time, so head over to the MSHSL's Twitter page to cast your vote. You have a day left to do so. That's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 Closed Captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health Virtual Video Visits, offering face-to-face interaction with your provider from the convenience of home or work.
We dance for healing. We dance for one another. For connection. In ways like no other. Together. Or even apart. We are resilient. The 2020 census is here, and we need to do our part for our people.
We have a structure fire with injuries on Highway 13.
Did you know your friends and neighbors volunteer to provide emergency services? They are serving many communities and need your help. Challenge yourself. Be part of the team. Be somebody.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I must give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Tune in Saturday mornings for the Link RV lineup, where we will show you amazing RVs on our lot, like this 2020 Jayco Bunkhouse travel trailer with fiberglass sidewalls, bunk beds, and more for just $172 a month. Or check out this 2020 Jayco Eagle half-ton towable fifth wheel for only $333 a month. Want to see more? Then be sure to watch this Saturday. Visit us online at linkrvdirect.com or stop by to view our complete inventory. We have the largest selection of RVs in northwestern Wisconsin. Link RV, where reputation is everything.
We want to say thank you.
Thank you.
To the first responders. Thank you.
To the truck drivers.
And delivery people. Thank you. Thank you. To the doctors.
The nurses. And all the hospital workers.
The grocery store workers.
The janitors.
And sanitation workers.
Show them kindness, patience, and gratitude. They are the real heroes.
Thank you for all of your bravery and hard work.
Thank you all.
Hi, I'm Dr. Charity Reynolds. I would like to remind you that COVID-19 is still around. Remember to wash your hands, wear your mask, and stay home as much as possible. Thank you.
The Segway personal transporter is going to be rolling off into the sunset.
End of an era. Ninebot says it will stop production of the PT on July 15th. The Segway official says the PT was a great invention, but now it seems a bit outdated. One strike against the Segway was its price, which could go up to $10,000. Segway says about 140,000 PTs were sold over the years. What's Paul Blart going to do now? How's he going to get around? That's what I want to know.
Good one, Tony. All right, Dave. Well, tomorrow we are looking at just a beautiful day.
Exactly. Whether you're a mall cop or Tony,
Yeah.
it's going to be a very nice day with high pressure bringing in sunshine and warmer than normal conditions. We've been near normal past couple of days. Now we go to 80 degrees, which should be about 7 degrees warmer than the norm. And then, of course, that heat provides lift, and the low pressure system comes in to feast upon that. And so Friday, we get a 70% chance for showers and thunderstorms. Some could become severe. We have to watch out for that. But it could drop a quarter to a half inch of rain around the region, which we do need. And then, if it pays off, you won't feel so guilty then about having sunshine return for the weekend.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow night.